he still working through some things, or is he trending in the right direction? Has he given you any indication for Sunday yet?
He worked a little bit yesterday. We'll see today. See what he does.
How big would it be to have him back? It's in a game where your O-line is kind of looking to rebound a little bit.
Yeah, it would be good. I mean, anytime, certainly, if we can get him going, that helps us. He's a good player. He's a good player, and he only adds to that offensive line that's been playing at a high level.
You seemed fairly optimistic about him last week, and then obviously couldn't go. Is it a pain management issue, or what is he?
No. I mean, it's a functionality. Just being able to use it and feel like you can produce, and that's all part of it. It's all part of it.
Cam Jordan has a pretty remarkable streak of, I think he's missed one game because of injury in his career. Who knows if he plays this week? But maybe just your thoughts on that streak and him as a player from being around him and what he means to that team.
Yeah, Cam is. First of all, he's a Hall of Fame player. And there's no secret as to why. Of course, he's got ability, but this guy works every day. Every day in practice, it's the same as it is in games. I mean, there's no – and the two things about him is he never gets hurt and he never gets tired. And that's a rarity. And, to play as long as he has and play at the high level that he has, because there's been a number of things where – he has not felt great, and he always shows up to play. So I'm anticipating him being out there until otherwise noted. But it's a remarkable streak. I mean, that's rare in this league. It is rare. But look, I can't say enough good things about Cam. He's a hell of a player. He's an energy bug for him. He's a captain, and so he's an issue. He's an issue for us.
Speaking of another guy who's maybe rare, could be an issue as well, just Taysom Hill. Just how unique of a player is he? I know you were around him. You saw him kind of develop into that role. Just how hard is he to scheme against this player?
It's really hard. Number one is just the personnel issues that you get. And kind of mentioned this earlier in the week. They do a good job of he's in, and you don't know what he's going to be. You don't know if he's going to play quarterback, tight end, slot, line up in the backfield. And so that kind of creates its own, its own conundrum for us, if you will. And that's just from us mentally getting lined up, making sure we got the right personnel in the game, and then handling what he does there. There's a few things they do when he's at quarterback. He has the ability to throw. There's nothing he doesn't do. I mean, he is modern-day Iron Man. I mean, he's as throwback as you get. He can throw. He can run. He plays on teams. He's a returner. He's something else. And he's another guy. He works his rear off. He's smart. He's tough. And he's versatile. So he's another guy. He's somebody that we got to be able to handle in this game. He, A.K., Lave, certainly Cam Jordan. There's a number of these guys. They got weapons now. They've got weapons.
Obviously, you guys got Hendon Hooker back this week. You was talking about his excitement in returning. I guess just from seeing him from a couple of days, like just early impressions of him and just being in practice.
Yeah, look, it's good to get him out there. I know he's excited, to be able to feel like he's now part of the team, from his own perspective. That's hard when you're limited to, I'm in meetings and that's about it. Then I go and rehab. And so I know he's excited to be out there. And look, we're just in the beginning stages of it. But he's, you can see just when he throws the ball, why we acquired him. He's got a poise about him, and he's got a really smooth delivery, if you will, tight spiral. But he's just starting, he's just starting. But it's good to get him out there.
How's Bruce Irvin coming along, and what are the chances he'll make his team debut this weekend?
Yeah, he's doing well. every week we feel like he's, getting his speed up, getting his football legs under him. And I think there's a chance. Brad and I'll make that final decision today. But we've been working him in a little bit, so if we need him, he'll be prepared. But we'll know a lot more after today.
Are there traits you see in him when he's out there that remind you of why he's been able to do what he's done in his career?
Yeah, look, there's a consistency about he's a pro first and foremost. He knows how to practice. He understands. Which is probably, if you're a vet guy and you've played as long as he has and had the production, you do things right. You understand how to practice. You understand how to prepare. Obviously, he takes great care of his body. That's, you'd be 36 years old and still move like he moves. So, and he's a craftsman, He does have a quick first step, but he's really good with his hands, his hands and his hips. He can bend. And so, that's been developed over time, and it's a little bit like riding a bike when you're somebody like him.
How's Jack been handling the play calls, the green dot, and
Great.
everything that goes with that this week?
It's right up his alley. It's right up his alley. He embraces that. He's a guy who wants it all. He wants it all. He doesn't want anybody to think that, man, I can't take this job description on. He wants every bit of it, and he hadn't missed a beat out there. He's been great.
You mentioned Alvin Kamara, his first year in the league, kind of burst onto the scene when you were in New Orleans. From the outside, it seems that you guys drafted a guy with a similar skill set in Jahmyr Gibbs. How many parallels do you see between those two early on?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities. I mean, it was one of the things that I was intrigued with when I was watching Gibbs. We were watching Gibbs, but there's look, certainly the ability to run the ball, not just perimeter. You feel like perimeter, man, these things can go anywhere, but inside as well. So inside zone runner, outside zone, perimeter runner, but then the things out of the backfield, there were similarities, and Gibbs is doing a good job, but he's got a long way to go, before you get to that. But we certainly like where Gibbs is at, but AK was a guy we had high hopes on. We liked him. Sean identified him early and knew he would just be a perfect fit for our offense. And, and everything that Sean thought was dead on, and he just took off, and he took off fast. And it got to the point where, and I know they're still this way, we worried about giving him too much because he could take on so much. He could absorb so much in the game plan and play multiple spots. It was more about not wearing him out during the week to get him ready for the game because you're asking him to do so much. But Gibbs has got these traits, these qualities about him. He's highly intelligent. He is explosive. He does have versatility. So we're excited about our guy.
How do you deal with, as success is steady coming for you guys? It's hearing members of your staff members steady being linked to steady different jobs. I mean, we even had you up here asking about different jobs, but is that flattering in the sense that so many guys on this staff is just being linked to different possibilities? Or how do you keep guys focused, and not buy into all the rumors that circulating with different guys on the staff? Yeah,
I mean, look, I think that's, if people are inquisitive about your staff, they're being linked to a few things. That means that we have a healthy program. That's what that means. To me, that means you're doing things right. So yeah, that's a good thing. You want that. You want your coaches to feel like there's opportunities out there, not only here but elsewhere. And but at the same token, yeah, we got a job to do, and this is the focal point. This is the most important thing. That time will come in about 2 months. But right now, man, keep your focus here, and our guys have done a good job of that. Our coaches have done a really good job of that. And look, I know everything that comes up, and my coaches let me know when things come up, and I appreciate that. And we work through them, but it's not a distraction.
And you mentioned Kamara, that 2017 draft class was you guys hit on a lot of those players, and that really set that franchise up for some success. Do you see parallels to that and what you guys have done here too, with really nailing the draft for a couple of years, long term?
I do. I mean, I do. I think that's obviously one of the biggest reasons that I feel like we're having some success here. And I saw how fast you can flip it over there. In a matter of 2 drafts, all of a sudden we were a totally transformed team. They already had these certain principles and a core about us, but man, we had talent, the right talent, to what we wanted our players to look like, and how we wanted them to play inside of our system. So I do. I feel like we're very much in that kind of mold, if you will. We've hit on some guys, and there's a ton of guys that still have so much room to grow. They're only going to get better and better and better.
With the exception of the Baltimore game, you guys have played really well on the road this season. With so many road games that you guys have into the year? What's going into playing well on the road, and how important is this focusing on what you guys have done well?
Yeah, I think just the pressure of it, being able to stay consistent and just stay calm, stay poised in the moment. I think that's what we've done a really good job of. We don't ride the roller coaster on the road, which is the most important thing, man. Communication, keeping your composure, and then just staying consistent in the moment, man. When some of these things, that's inevitably what happens. You get in a stressful environment, a player will crack or a couple of things show up, and our guys just focus on your job at hand. Focus on the moment. Don't worry about what just happened, what's going to happen after this play. Just stay there, and don't get too high or too low. Shoot, there may be a turnover. It's all right, man. Put it behind you. Let's go to the next play, and we've done a good job of that.
One more question before you go. What do you think about the game being flexed? The Denver game. Do you prefer the Saturday night games, or your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like Sunday 1:00s, but Saturday's good. Saturday will work. You're asking me, I'm always going to want the Sunday 1:00, 7-day layover. That's kind of perfect. So, but this will be good. Certainly, it'll be against a very good opponent, playing good football against my mentor. And our guys will be excited. So it'll be a great environment back home here, night game.